Hello, good people. My name is David D. Williams, born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. Now, there's three things I love about Ohio. I love my family, I love my Central State University family, Gold Marauders, and I love those Buckeyes. I know y'all not, hey, I already know a lot of Michiganders don't like the Buckeyes. I get that. But I got to give props where props is due. Jim Harbaugh coached the University of Michigan, and they beat Ohio State. It broke my heart. Hey, stop it. It broke my heart. But I looked at it. I said, I know what happened. Somebody leaked my talk to Jim Harbaugh, to the Wolverines. That's what it was. So I'm happy that it happened. What was my talk? Well, I'm glad you asked. It was called 5 Lines and 4 Spaces. I'm a former musician, right? Sun up to sundown. I was in the band, right, in college. And the 5 lines are the notes, right? Every good boy does fine. Are the notes on the... Okay, thank you. Y'all went to 4th grade class. Okay, so then the notes on the space are your face, your face. And then last note is G. Well, what he did was he formulated a plan, right? He made some adjustments. He understood the culture. The culture is to beat Ohio State. That's the culture. Then he evolved. They did plays we've never seen before. They did stuff, it was unheard of, right? But what he did was he evolved. And he said, hey, I got to get better. Now, I don't know if he gave that plan to God, but I do know he got some help and he gave back. That's what he did. So I said, what can I do in my own life? Because we all got a rival, right? So what I did was growing up, I met my wife. I knew she was my wife the moment I met her. January 9th, 1995. I remember the date because I remember it. It was accurate. And so I said, I remember she had some things that I wasn't really ready for. I had to formulate a plan, right? I had to adjust. Because my wife, I'll let you know, she said, look, if you want to get with me on Saturday, you got to get with me on Wednesday. Wednesday! I wasn't used to this kind of planning. It shocked me. I didn't know I was going to make it, right? So what I did, I made some adjustments. Then I said, her culture is different than mine. She would let her life she planned her life. I just lived my life. That's what I did. So I had to change, right? I had to understand her culture. I had to evolve. I couldn't be the same person I was at 24, at 34, 44. I couldn't be the same person. So then I said, you know what, Lord, I need to just give this to you because I don't have this because I don't know how I'm going to keep her. But the whole point was, that I said, I got to make sure I evolve. I had to make sure, I said, look, I'm a firm believer, right? Like what the sister said earlier. I'm going to give you some scripture. Give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, shall men give to your bosom. So I had to give, right? I had to do some giving. And I said, well, what can I do to give back? What can I do? And I said, well, that's when I came up with something called DDT. Now, all the men, I don't mean Jake the Snake, the wrestler. I don't mean that. I mean the doctor, the dentist, and the therapist, right? You need to go there. Listen, I know what it is. Women are sick and tired of taking care of y'all. I know they are. Right? I hear them all the time. Take care of yourself. What I am is a man's healthcare advocate, right? DDT. Take care of yourself. Go to the eye doctor. Now, some of y'all, I'm not going to remain who it is, but they need to go to the eye doctor. They won't go, but typically men go to the eye doctor because you can't see. Some people need to go a little bit more than others. But the next one, the medical doctor, right? You need to go to the medical doctor. Now, I understand why, man, I don't know why we don't go, but we don't go. Because I can get an appointment right now just like that. Women, y'all can't get an appointment at all. I already know. The same day, it's not going to happen. But men, what you need to realize is that when you go to the medical doctor, they can keep track of you. They can say, hey, this is what's happening. It happened to me. And I know where some of that comes from because men, we don't get told the right thing to do. And for me, it happened way back when I was on an internship. I was a young guy, and I went to urgent care. And the guy said, what are you here for? I said, a checkup. He said, oh, I got you. Just wear a condom. Everything will be fine. I said, I know to wear a condom. I couldn't believe he just told, like he brushed me off, like I didn't matter. Or I was this hyper sex crazed guy or whatever, which I might have been. Okay, but anyway, the point is that he didn't even look at me. He didn't even involve me, right? He didn't even look at and say what was going on. So I said, well, if all I got to do is wear a condom, this is the male mindset. If all I got to do is wear a condom, I'm fine. So I never went to the doctor again, right? So then when you talk about going even more medical things, I said, well, I didn't want to say this, but I want to be transparent. I read in a book, Maxwell said it or something. They said, people want transparency. I'm going to give you transparency. I had a purple toe. I didn't want to tell anybody about it. My wife knows. She said, well, I heard her say, that's a whole nother book, right? I heard her say, before we get married, you better take care of that purple toe. What she said was, look into the purple toe before we get married, right? But my point was that purple toe, I had to get the medicine. I had to get all this. It was 80-20, right? 80% they pay, 20% you pay. And then I said, hey, I got to get this thing together. So I said, okay, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do right. And then I said, well, the other one, the dentist. Now, understand something. 65% of men don't go to the doctor. 64% don't go to the dentist. 11% go to therapy. So you know already the therapy, that's even a good stat for it. But the dentist can tell you what's going on in your body as well. But men don't want to go because I think it's a badge of honor. We feel like, hey, I'm a man. I don't have to do this kind of stuff. Stop thinking that that's what's working. That's not what's working. You have to be manly enough to say, I'm courageous enough to know that I'm messing up and get some help. Now, the last one is therapy. My therapist, I got to get a shout out to her. I call it Epiphany with Tiffany. And Tiffany Washington, she works for ThriveWorks. I'm putting her information out there. Why? Because I was taught to give and get, see what I mean? Give and it shall be given unto you. So the whole point is you got to make sure that you're helping others. I always say this, health is wealth. This is true. But serving is unnerving. You're not having anybody serve you. You can't serve anybody else. It's not going to happen, right? So I said this. I said, well, I'm going to therapy. I realized been some things that happened in my life. I realized things like, when my parents got divorced, right? I remember when my dad was being abusive. I remember I got another purple incident. I got pulled over by the police because I wore a purple shirt. I was a black man that fit the description. And they pulled me over, right? And so my therapist taught me, she said, look, you can't change your childhood. You can't change your past, but you can change how you accept it, right? So you can change how you think about it. So I said, okay, I can change how I think about things. So I said, okay, well, the big one for me was recently I got two boys. Recently, one went to college. Well, they both were in college, but one went to college. I had to learn to love my wife again because the house was empty. It was something nobody actually prepared me for. I had to learn to love my wife all over again. We have date nights. You know that same scheduling woman I told you about on January 9th? She's still scheduling me today. You know what I mean? She's telling me, hey, when's date night? When is it? It's the second Tuesday every month. See, you got to make sure that you're doing something. I don't just talk about it, I be about it. Okay? So you have to understand where you are in life and where you want to be. So men, step up and do something about your life. That's what it's about. It's never going to get better until you do better. See, I recognize if I did better by me, there were other things that would open up in the marriage. And if you know what those other things are, you're all mature. Okay, so the point is you have to do it yourself. That's what it's about. So sharing is caring and and serving is unnerving. That was my thing. So if you want to reach out to me as the man's healthcare advocate, you can reach out at David_D_Williams01 at Yahoo. Or you can hit me up on the socials at Mr. D.D. Williams at Gmail. All right? So I'm David D. Williams, and I approve this message. All right? Here we do.